achieved.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey on another day with a Cowboys mailbag today. I didn't have a genius idea for a video, although when I asked for questions and when I texted my buddy Gavin Dawson, check out his YouTube page, by the way, he also gave me some great ideas. So what we got here is a little bit of a mailbag for you, the Tolo, and the Studio de Jeffrey Observer. Also, we're going hair flow today. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I'm going full hair flow. Question numero uno on today's Studio de Jeffrey presentation comes from my buddy Tim Urban, and it's one of the greatest bar debates of all time. Is Zeke's style of running, pounding the ball and almost never losing yards, but also not breaking huge plays, more valuable than a Saquon Barkley style that might lose you 5 yards, but will eventually break one? To me, I'd lean more Zeke because he doesn't kill drives. Thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Who would you rather have, Ezekiel Elliott or Saquon Barkley? Because all this is who would you rather have, Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders? That's what the question is. The ultimate answer is I'm happy with either one, and if it's a snake draft, you pick first, and I'll be happy to pick first at the next position. If I gotta go and I gotta pick one, I know, gotta have an opinion, right? It's YouTube and it's sports radio. I'll take Saquon, and can I cheat and say because he's a year younger, I get extra, or 2 years? I get extra contract years out of Saquon. So, yeah, he's a couple of years younger. I would go Saquon partially for that reason and partially because I would try really, really hard to teach him. Like, hey, remember, they don't all have to be home runs. Just take the home runs when they come to you. And remember to hit the hole every time because Saquon will abandon a 2-yard play and lose you 5 or 6 from time to time. But I think that skill set is, oh, man. Zeke's awesome. Zeke's really, really good. I would go Saquon. I think he's more dangerous in the receiving game, and I'm a big proponent of splash plays, big plays. When you're getting 40 or 50-yard plays, those are game changers, and so I would go Saquon, and I know that I'm going to get called a Zeke hater for this, and that's okay. My therapist told me to go ahead and own your stuff, you know? Zeke is really good. I would take Saquon, and I'll live with your anger. No problem. You know why? Because I'm comfortable with my own opinion, and I'll own it. So that's question number 1 in today's Cowboy Mailbag. Question number 2, we had 3 different people ask different variations of the same thing about Sean Lee. Should Sean Lee be starting over Leighton Vander Esch? Why does the defense look better with Sean Lee? So shout out to Zachary and Lee, and I may be missing somebody on Twitter asking variations of the same question. So I was watching tape this morning. The coach's tape is out. If you have NFL Game Pass, you can do this too. It costs about $100 a year, but if you're a real football nerd, it's worth it. Well, I say it's worth it if you have $100. Don't hack it or whatever. It's not a secret. We talked about it yesterday, and when you rewatch it, it's the same thing. That's something that comes with years and years and years of football experience, but not to everybody. Sean Lee is a football savant. He's a football genius. He doesn't false step often. He diagnoses what's happening quickly. You can tell that he's been watching years and years and years of tape, and he's good at it. I think the biggest reason the defense might have been better, Sean Lee is part of it. Sean Lee, the player. But you'll also notice, even though Jalen Smith is wearing the mic because he's the middle linebacker, he's getting the play calls. When they're shifting around pre-snap, a lot of it's Sean Lee who's setting guys up and telling them, hey, I don't know the words he says, but he gets the people set up properly. So I think that's just a really smart football guy. And I don't want to forget about his athleticism because I did a Cowboy Hour with Sean Lee once. And he was like, why are we pretending that I'm not a good athlete? Like, Sean Lee's also a really good athlete. But I don't know. I don't know what you do with that. Do you want to start him? There's a reason they've been trying to protect him. Because at the end of that game, he kind of aggravated a pec or shoulder injury. And so he says he'll be ready for next week. I know he doesn't want that to be a story because I know how hard he works to prepare his body. But the big thing is I think he helps everybody be in a better position. And I think he individually is going to be in the right position even more often than really good, smart football players like Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. So the coaches have a tough decision to make. Do I want to be my absolute best I can be on every single snap? Or do I want to make sure that I have Sean Lee as the season rolls on and you work your way towards the postseason. I bet he plays more snaps, but I don't think it leads to Leighton Vander Esch hanging out on the bench and watching. So that's your Sean Lee situation. And the final thing I want to get to today, well, maybe not the final. I may have two more for you. Not Zachary. We already did Zachary. Chandler asked, how has Connor Williams played? You don't really hear his name called. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I'd like to thank you because that made me watch the all 22 of Connor Williams. And I tell you what, he had a really good game. I don't ever want to overreact to one game, but Connor Williams in this game, he did a lot of dealing with Dalvin Tomlinson, number 94 for the Giants, who's a 320-pound nose tackle kind of guy out of Alabama. And you would think, that's a lot of power. That's something that Connor Williams struggled with as a rookie. He did not struggle with it against Dalvin Tomlinson. He blocked him really, really well. The rest of the time, he was really dealing with Leonard Williams, who's a totally different sort of player. He's more of a under tackle, 3 technique. He's not 320 pounds. He's more of the athletic type. And he handled him really well, too. I think Connor Williams, he's still not a bully. He got a little bit bullied by Leonard Williams on one bull rush on a 3rd and 5. But I tell you what, Dak, that was actually the Blake Jarwin touchdown. Dak escaped it, and Dak threw the touchdown to Jarwin. And outside of that play, there's one other one where I think some people might see it and be like, he got beat, when Leonard Williams beat him to the outside and hit Dak as he's throwing the ball on a 3rd and 13. And on that one, Dak took the snap at the 36-yard line. He got hit at the 46-yard line. If I drive my guy 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, the quarterback's got to step up into his pocket, which he had a clean one, and you can't be drifting backwards because then you're bringing pass rushers into the play. On the whole, I thought Connor Williams had a really good game, and the best part of his game is still the best part of his game. He's added the weight, his body looks better, but his athleticism is the best part of his game. When he's getting up to the middle linebacker, when he's pulling around and he's got to block number 29, these DBs and these linebackers, they don't make Connor Williams miss, because he's a really good athlete. He did a nice job with his body positioning if they're running right or left, and his job is to seal a guy in or out. Connor Williams did a really good job, and it gives me hope that he's developing into a really quality starter. On that game, I would say he played really, really well, and we'll keep an eye on it going forward. Final question is actually from Gavin Dawson, and we'll be discussing it on the air today. He said, I want to know if Michael Bennett creates more one-on-one opportunities for other guys. And my answer to that is generally not yet. Once he makes a bunch of plays, probably. But I did notice one play in this game, and it was right after he made a tackle for a 1-yard gain. It was 3rd and 6 on, I believe, the Cowboys' 8-yard line. Michael Bennett's at left defensive end. They tried to single block him with a tight end. And so on that play, no, he didn't free anybody up because they were like, we're going to block you with one tight end. To his credit, he won that matchup. He tackled Saquon for a 1-yard gain. Now it's 3rd and 5 on 3rd and 5. What they do is DeMarcus Lawrence lines up in a wide 9, which means where you would normally see a defensive end, now move him out even further. Then Michael Bennett lined up, head up over the offensive tackle. So they didn't really have a D tackle and a D end. They had them both moved out at a defensive end spot. And on that play, the attention did shift to them. And Saquon Barkley on the other side was there to chip if Robert Quinn went outside. And the one-on-one matchup was Malik Collins with Will Hernandez. So you did get a glimpse of it. And if he continues to be successful, then yeah, I think Malik Collins will be the benefactor of that. And so that's going to be up to him to take advantage because you're not going to ignore DeMarcus Lawrence. You're not going to ignore Robert Quinn. But if Michael Bennett can keep balling, Malik Collins will be the benefactor. All right, homies, thanks for swinging by. Thanks for hanging out with me. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube page. Go to 1053thefan.com every day and keep Toloing. We love you for it. You're all amazing. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you at 2 o'clock on 1053 The Fan.